Hello, my friends. I'm hoping that it's working okay right now. I already see my lips lagging a little bit. We just had a very short live stream of just a quick, yeah, my lips are already lagging. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off again one more time, and we're just going to go to the regular webcam until I can figure this out. So let me sign off, and then I'll be back in a second. Hold on. Okay, so we're just going to go back to old school. Let me wipe off my lens here. It's all foggy looking. It doesn't look nearly as good as it did a minute ago. If you are watching this on the replay, I know this is like really confusing. I'm trying to get the audio to sync up with the video, and the problem was in the stream I did a moment ago, the audio wasn't syncing up. I have a webcam, and I think that the streaming is a little too intense for live streaming. Like, it's, for whatever reason, something isn't keeping up. The quality being transferred out isn't as good a quality. Like, it's just it can't keep up with my webcam. So the audio was out of sync. So, and I want you to be able to hear me. Like, the quality of the video is just going to have to go down a little bit till I can figure this out. So I even see my lips are still not quite where they should be. So I apologize, but I do want to keep going with this video because it's a topic I want to talk about, and it's making me sad that this is taking me so long to get started. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you're here watching live, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and get into the topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the YouTube beauty space, things we love, things we hate, things we wish would change, things that we want to stay the same, all of that. And again, I apologize that the quality went back down to normal poop because I'm back to being yellow and fuzzy, and I'll work on it. We'll work on it. So if you're watching this on the replay, you're probably pretty confused. Hopefully you figured out at this point what's going on, and we can just chat now. So what I wanted to start talking about is, the things that I feel like are going right on YouTube. I feel like there's a lot of things that are going well, and there's a lot of channels right now that I feel like are kind of changing the game and are really bringing a new, fresh outlook to YouTube beauty, and I think that that's really important. Some of the larger channels I feel like are getting really comfortable in doing the same thing because it's working for them, and that's great for them. I think it's great that it's working for them, but as far as the channels that aren't the biggest channels, I feel like we need to start getting a little bit more creative as far as the content that we're putting up so that it's not, it's not the same thing over and over and over and over again and seeing the same things. And I think that's why a lot of channels, people are unsubscribing, people aren't watching anymore. It's, how many times can I see, the same thing over and over again? So real quick, I just want to give Angelica another quick shout out, just because this video was inspired by her video of, I'll spell her name, it's Angelica. NYQVIST is her channel. I've just been absolutely loving it. But she did a video recently on reasons why she unsubscribes from YouTube channels, and I found it to be very insightful, and I really enjoyed it. And I just enjoy Angelica's perspective on pretty much everything. She's incredible with tutorials. She's an excellent reviewer. I definitely recommend you check out her channel. So, oh, is Angelica here? Is she actually here? That would be so cool if Angelica was here. She shows up sometimes. So, but anyway, yeah, so I feel like, there's, like, someone's mentioning right now, FBH. Oh, by the way, I heard that you're going to be able to, see the chat on the side, but I'm still going to do this the way I normally do, telling you, who I'm talking to. FBH16 says, what's finally going right is Raw Beauty Christy is finally getting the recognition she deserves. Lots of small YouTubers are growing, and it makes me so happy. Yes, and I feel like Christy is one of those examples of somebody that's trying to do something different, and that was the game changer for Christy. And when she just embraced her she's so funny. She's so funny, and she's so smart, and she's an excellent reviewer. She cares about giving good information, and I think that that's something that's really good on YouTube right now, is there are a lot of YouTubers coming up like that. We've got Georgia Harris and Makeup Struggles, and, who else? I mean, just so many really, really good channels that are coming out right now, you know, that are starting to come up. And it's wonderful to see. That Taylor, she does a lot of really good foundation reviews. That's kind of her thing. But she does a lot of other reviews as well. She's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely, you know, a group of people that are trying to do something a little bit different, and it's so nice to see. It's so nice to see. Nadine says, I think what Taylor is doing with Project Beauty Share in her 15 Days of Foundation series is incredible. I agree. I mean, she's just such a nice person. I love her, absolutely adore her. Samantha March, absolutely. Hot Mess Mama, absolutely. These are all really great channels. Lucia Tepper Beauty, I just recently discovered her in my suggested feed, and I was very impressed with her perspectives. Actually, it's funny because I watched her video and I was like, this is kind of what I said in my Jaclyn Hill video, just not as articulately. The Jaclyn Hill video, they got so much crap for it, was pretty much what I was saying, was what she said. She just said it in a lot better way than I did, in a better format. But I agreed with her so much, and I was so excited to see her and that she's doing so well. Allison said, for me, it's the genuine channels that I can connect with, people being real. Exactly. Totally agree. Liv Loves Her Makeup. Yep, another great channel. A lot of honesty there. Very thorough. Definitely. Mimi says, do creators want feedback why subscribers are unsubscribing? There is someone I watch, but I can't anymore because everything is her favorite and amazing. I don't know if she is brand pleasing. She might be. And, you know, I think you just coined a term, brand pleasing. And I think that's one of the big problems on YouTube is brand pleasing. And, you know, you can, I give you credit, Mimi. Mimi has coined a term, unless she heard it from someone else. I think that's a big problem. You know, like, for example, you know, Perfusion sent me this stuff, and, you know, I want Perfusion, this is me brand pleasing, I want Perfusion to continue to send me things so that I can review them and get lots of views. So I'm going to tell you how amazing this is, even though there may be things I don't like about it, but I'm going to conveniently omit the things I don't like about it, and I'm just going to focus on the things that I do like about it. I feel like, you know, that there isn't necessarily a lie there, but there's a lot of omission. There's a lot of omission because you can't love everything. I mean, there's no way you love everything. It drives me bonkers. I mean, and this is, let me just disclaimer this real quick. This is my personal opinion. And I said this in the other video before the live stream messed up with the syncing. I'm a human being that has a right to an opinion. And for some reason, there's a select group of people that believe that once you get a YouTube audience, that you no longer have a right to have an opinion. And that you gotta, you know, just keep your mouth shut about things, and you can't talk about things that you feel and believe anymore. And that drives me insane. I have a right to an opinion. I'm a human being. So this is all about my opinion. I'm not telling you if you disagree with me that you're wrong. It's okay to disagree, but this is my opinion and I have a right to have it. So there. Okay, so anyway, the brand pleasing thing really drives me bonkers, and it's very easy to spot. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna watch the video, and then you're going to see if they say anything negative, okay? If it's a 100% glowing review, fine. And watch their next video. Another 100% glowing review, okay? Red flag. Third video, 100% glowing review. Okay. At that point, I unsubscribe. That's something I cannot even. Drives me insane. I lost Angelica's comment. I was going to read it. Where did it go? No, I lost it. It was marked as spam. There it is. Oh, and then it disappeared again. Are you kidding me? It was marked as spam, and I unmarked it as spam, and then it disappeared. I lost it. Darn. Okay. So, but anyway, Steph says, just tell us what you're being paid. That's all I ask. Yeah. I mean, if people are being paid for a review, I feel like there's a lot of people that still aren't disclosing sponsored content. You know, like I know that how much money I can get for a video, which I don't want to disclose. It's just, I'm not comfortable telling you exactly how much money I get paid from a brand, just because I don't want other brands to know what I get paid from certain brands. And like, I just feel like that's kind of tacky for me to disclose that, because I feel like that's private between me and the brand. And Shelika says, haha, I'm spam. You're not though, you're fabulous. But at my size, knowing what I get, there's no way some of these bigger YouTubers are not getting paid for some of this content. I mean, there's no way. I have no evidence. I have no receipts. I have no proof. All I have is my gut feeling on that, but it just drives me bonkers that they don't disclose it. It's like, if you're getting paid, fine. Just say you're getting paid for it and say, you know, this is a sponsored video, but I'm still going to give my honest review. They just get so much crap for it, so I can see why they, you know, want to hide it, because they don't want people to think that they're not being genuine, but then you're shooting yourself in the foot. Drives me crazy. Another mention of Risa Does Makeup, R-I-S-A. Oh my gosh, such a great channel. Totally agree. She's also honest and does a lot of mature skin. Yes. Claire says, I'm patiently waiting for Emily Noel to reach 1 million subs. I don't know why Emily hasn't gotten a million subs. It doesn't make any sense to me why Emily Noel 83 isn't at 1 million subscribers. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, there's some channels I just shake my head and I go, I don't get it. I just don't get why she doesn't have 1 million subscribers. I don't. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. Lisa says, when you anti-anything is the truth. The only thing about, okay, so there's the flip side of this that I wanted to talk about, is that sometimes people will inauthentically bash a product as well. Because of the shock value for views. So be careful of that as well. That someone is telling you they've got, you know, this blush palette and they're putting it on and they put it on like this and they go, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. Oh my gosh, I can't even get it to blend, but they've barely touched their face. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Let's try a different color. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. This is terrible. Oh my gosh, I can't even use this thing. How are they even charging money for this? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm just using it as an example. It just, that, you got to be careful of that too. And let me make sure I'm clear on this. This is not just with big people with lots of followers. This is people with small followings too, because people that have small followings want to brand please because they want to continue. It's really important for them to continue getting PR. I mean, can you imagine if you're at, you know, 5,000 followers and you get a package from Too Faced? Oh my gosh, you're gonna freak out. You don't want Too Faced to take you off the PR list. This is oh my gosh, like, you know. So be careful of smaller channels too. It's not just big channels, it's small channels too. Absolutely. I mean, the brand pleasing and the brand bashing both are just equally as bad. What we really want as a community, what I want, not we, because I can only speak for myself, is just honesty. Just try it. Try the product for a decent length of time, meaning at least twice, before you say it's approved, before you say that it's amazing. Try it at least twice. You wear it all day at least once, at least, and then tell us your opinion, but don't slap it on your face and then say, this is amazing, you need to go buy this, you need to purchase it. It drives me absolutely insane. Insane. I can't even stand it. Joyful Beauty Channel says, I'm a very small channel and I have zero desire to brand please. It's really, I mean, I have to tell you, it was really hard for me in the beginning not to brand please. And I do feel like sometimes back when I first started getting PR, I did brand please some, where I was a little more gentle than I think I probably should have been, because I was, you know, I don't know. I guess it's like when you invite someone into your house and then you rip them to shreds. Kind of thing, you know, like that's just rude. Like I was trying not to be rude, but it's not rude. It's not, and I had to beat that into my own head. And Emily was a big, Emily Noel 83 was a big inspiration for that. I've told the story like a million times, where I watched a video of hers and she had gotten some Too Faced brushes and she said they weren't very good, and I was like, if she can do this, I can do this, you know. But this was like way back at the beginning of my channel. But I am definitely guilty of brand pleasing when I first started getting PR. And it was more of, it wasn't that I lied about it, it was just that I only said the positives and omitted the negatives, which is definitely a big no-no for me, big no-no. But I was guilty of it myself, so I have no right to judge anybody else. There we go. Dollface says, every YouTuber said the subculture palette was trash, but the colors were so beautiful, so I bought it and the palette is amazing. And I think the subculture was one of those things where I don't think people gave it enough of a chance before they did their reviews. I really don't. I think that, you know, there was a lot of bandwagoning for that product specifically. I feel like the KKW Beauty launch was another one where it was the opposite, where I feel like people just slapped it on their face. And, no, Fenty. The Fenty Beauty launch, not KKW, the Fenty Beauty launch, KKW too a little bit, but the Fenty Beauty launch, I feel like people slapped it on their face and approved it in about 5 seconds, and it was like, I was so irritated by a lot of those beginning Fenty Beauty reviews. I mean, Rihanna can take it. I'm sure she can. You know, it's like, I don't know. It just drove me insane. And then the subculture with the bashing of it. And just, oh my gosh, I just can't even. Just be honest. Just think about it. And realize that you, as an influencer, have a responsibility to your audience to give accurate information. It's not about giving positive, negative. It's about giving accurate information to your own personal experience. And the only way to do that is to really think about what you're doing while you're doing it. And those YouTubers that are doing that, I think, are going to do very, very well. You know, the Angelicas of the world are going to do very, very well, as long as the audience shows channels like Angelica's and Christie's and all of these other channels, as long as they show those videos love by watching. Because here's the problem, is that you know, the viewers are the ones, you know how you say you shop with your dollar, like you support with your dollar? On YouTube, you're supporting with your views. So what we need to do as a community is, if we value something, if you value something, no matter what it is, whatever it is you value, you need to watch videos that also have those same values and support that way. If you're watching channels that you know are shady, then that's just helping those channels to succeed. So finding those channels that you personally identify with and appreciate, and making sure to watch their content. I think that's the best way we as a community can increase the positivity and the good quality content. You know, and it's not just in beauty, it's everywhere. I mean, it's the Logan Pauls of the world. You know, people are watching it. That's why he keeps doing it. You know what I mean? More questions about Tati's vitamins. I will do an entire in-depth video on Tati's vitamins. I don't want to go into it right now because I'm not done with my video, and I want to be thorough. I am not just going to slap up some crap Googling of for 15 minutes. I'm not throwing it up there. I'm gonna do my due diligence, and the video is gonna be up not this coming week, but the following week is where my goal is to put that video up. Because I want to make sure that that I put in the time and the energy to make sure I have the most accurate information possible. I have a lot of followers on Twitter that are in the professional field that I'm going to kind of tap into, but I don't know them personally, so I'm also going to talk to medical doctors that I know and get some information from them that have nothing to do with the beauty community. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make sure that I give the best information possible on that. Jacqueline says, Jackie Ina does a beautiful halo eye using subculture. I watched her and Stephanie Nicole's reviews, and I think it also comes down to talent and knowledge. I think that's part of it too, and I think that it's also playing with it. You know, when you have a product, making sure that you don't just do one look and then approve or disapprove. Because in one look, how many shades can you use in one look out of a 14 shade palette? You know, you're going to use maybe 5, 6, 7, half the palette. That's not enough for a full review, in my opinion. I mean, at least a thorough review. I mean, first impression reviews, if you say it's a first impression review, I have no problem with that. I do first impression reviews every once in a while, especially on Livestream. But, you know, I think it's important to try things. So anyway, let's move on to a different topic. So let's talk about, I don't know, what should we talk about? What else bugs us and what else do we love about YouTube beauty? I personally love to be able to get information and be able to Google search and find a product that I'm interested in ahead of time before I buy something. I think it's great. I think YouTube is a great resource. It's just making sure to know who you trust. Oh, Terry Lee is here. Hi, Terry Lee. How are you? Steph says the box of crayons palette has me scared straight. If you don't know, I did do a full review of the I almost said Color Rain. The crayon cases, box of crayons, palette. And one thing I think that's really important to understand about my knowledge of that is I just have a lot of questions. And that my questions are kind of freaky, that I don't know the answers to these, and they're not responding to me as far as giving me answers, as far as, you know, them not being on PETA's website but having the PETA bunny. And I was recently educated by a subscriber that to get PETA certification, all you need to do is I was wrong on this. All you need to do to get PETA certification is to log on to their, you know, approval process or whatever, and say and promise basically that you're going to be cruelty free. You don't have to prove anything. So PETA certification actually isn't that difficult to get. It's the Logical Harmony, and what's the other one? The Leaping Bunny is the one that's very difficult to get, that you have to work really hard. And that was the one I was thinking of that I referenced in the video review, was that. But just the fact that they have the PETA bunny on there, I mean, they're not listed on PETA, kind of sketches me out. But I don't know. Maybe they went through the process of it. I don't know. They won't answer me. And then, you know, the thing about the eye shadow with the eye, that maybe that's not eye safe. I did have a subscriber that they did respond to that person. And I know we're off topic now. I just realized that. Sorry. But I'll just zip through this real quick. Somebody said that they did respond to them on Instagram. I saw their response, and they said they were just trying to be creative, that the eyeshadow thing was just a creativity thing. It has nothing to do with the eyeshadows being eye safe or not. And I wish they had responded that to me, because I still haven't heard a single thing from them. You know, and then the misspellings on the eyeshadow primer ingredients. I mean, it's just questions. I have no evidence there's anything wrong with this brand. I have no evidence that there's anything that's bad about this brand. I just have questions, and they're not answering me. So, you know, Mia says, is there a way to find YouTubers on specific areas, i.e. there are products on the West Coast that are not available on the East Coast? I would just imagine that you would want to just find creators that are on whatever coast you live on. It's the same thing with, you know, products in Australia and the UK. You're just going to have to find, I mean, I don't think there's any resource that points out where people live, unfortunately. I mean, unfortunately, not where they actually live. We're not talking about doxing here, but where, you know, which coast they live on or which area they live in to, you know, find that out. Let's see. Cheyenne says, I'm tired of creators doing sponsored videos for companies that have well-documented issues with treating their customers like crap and having bad policies. Do you have a specific example of that, Cheyenne? Because I'm trying to think of a brand like that. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, like Lime Crime has had issues, but I don't really see a lot of sponsored content. Shauna says, but I love accents, Jen. Yeah, I know, right? Karen says, is it connected or endorsed by the actual Crayola brand? No, Karen. That eyeshadow palette is not endorsed by that brand, by Crayola, but they don't have to be, because crayon is not copyrighted. Oh, Fashion Nova. Okay, everybody's talking about Fashion Nova. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's something that people need to keep in mind. Fashion Nova has never reached out to me. I have purchased some things from Fashion Nova personally before it blew up on YouTube. I do have some Fashion Nova stuff, and I didn't have a problem with my particular order. Juvia's Place is another brand that I haven't had any personal problems with, but I've heard other people have had problems with it. So I think it's one of those things that's really hard as a creator to... you know, when you haven't had a negative experience, but other people have, I think leaving that disclaimer, I think, is important. But I don't know about not doing sponsored content if you've never had a bad experience. But I think maybe that should be mentioned at least in the video description. I know Christy had some bad experiences with them. Raw Beauty Christy had some bad experiences with Fashion Nova. Joyful Beauty Channel says, okay, I'm going back to work. All right, bye. Robin says, oops, I meant the first... Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Burp. Steph says, Fashion Nova is the worst. They take your money for out-of-stock items and then only give you credit, forcing you to spend the money on items you don't even want. Just refund my money. Yeah, that's what I learned from Christy's video. But and Stephanie says, I heard Kylie has terrible customer service. I heard that as well. Erica says, Smolder Cosmetics. I've never heard of them. Have you ever? She just wants to know more about them. Marilyn says, it annoys me how much PR a company can send one YouTuber whole sets, colors, even personalized massive packaging, also taking them to exotic places, etc. And this is the way I kind of feel about PR trips. I have no problem with PR trips as long as the YouTuber or Instagrammer or whoever kind of, you know, understanding that it's almost like, you know, on the dentist door, how it's got that no soliciting little thing on there. You know, I mean, anybody that has a business gets solicited for free products, you know, doctors and dentists and, you know, computer companies and, you know, everybody. My husband gets it at his tattoo studio, people trying to give free product in order to, you know, promote their stuff and try to get that business to use it. And I think that PR is the same thing. I mean, I think PR has been happening way before YouTube. You know, they would send PR to magazines and to, you know, television shows and things like that. You know, Good Morning America, you know, you get a goodie bag from whatever company, you know, to try to get people to use it and enjoy it. So PR is nothing new. It's just how you let it influence your reviews. And it kind of reminds me of teaching. And you'll hear me say this again at some point or another. But when I was teaching my students, let's say they had a bad morning and they got in an argument with their mom, or let's say it's their birthday today and they're going to be celebrating their birthday later, you know, and they're so excited they can't even focus in school. I would say, you know, Johnny, I know it's your birthday today and I know you're really excited, but I want you to take that out of your head. Just imagine, you know, everything you're excited about. Take it out of your brain for a minute, put it on a shelf, save it for later. And then let's focus on what we're supposed to be focusing on now. And I think that's what YouTube beauty creators need to do. That's what I personally do when I receive PR. Is yes, I know I got this for free. Yes, I know this brand is doing a sponsored video. Yes, I've never been on a PR trip, but yes, I know this brand is taking me on, you know, to Bali or whatever. But I'm going to take that out of my head. I'm going to put it on a shelf and I'm going to save it for later. And I'm going to focus on what this product is all about. And that's just the way that I think of things, and I think that's what we need to do as reviewers with PR and trips and all of that. But are people actually doing that? Are people, you know, being influenced by all of this? That's the question. What grades did I teach? I mostly taught 4th and 5th grade, but I taught, at some point, I taught K through 5 at some point or another. Lash Love says, I hate watching PR trips. I kind of like it just because I like seeing, you know, people having fun and enjoying themselves. I think it just depends. Nancy says, but PR trips cost money for someone. And I bet at the end of the day, it is the consumer. And that's possible, but they have a budget. You know, every company has a budget. And a budget for PR, meaning commercials, magazine ads. They used to be spending all this money in magazine ads and television commercials and things like that. So instead of doing a magazine ad or a television commercial, they're now doing brand trips and things like that with influencers. It's just a movement of money. So like for brands that have been around since before YouTube, I believe in my heart, I have no receipts for this, but I believe that they've always had a budget for advertising. And that's all it is. That's really all it is. Lash Love says, I unsubscribe from many because of PR trips. I don't unsubscribe because of PR trips. I don't unsubscribe because of sponsored video content. I unsubscribe when the content is different. When the content changes. When I see that someone is being solved. You know, that's when I unsubscribe. And it's not just from one video, it's from multiple videos. I usually try to give the benefit of the doubt off of, you know, there's been creators that I'm still subscribed to that I still really like, that I've watched a video and kind of went, this isn't really a very good video. This isn't a good review. I don't like this. But I don't unsubscribe immediately. I wait and I watch 1 or 2 more videos. And if they can win me back, like I'm like, all right, cool. But I always have it in the back of my head, like, you know what I mean? Sammy says, I unsubscribe when it becomes fake. Yeah, absolutely. Jane says, I heard that YouTube is cheap advertising to their market audience. Absolutely. I mean, I don't have the numbers. But if you think about how much an ad in a magazine is going to cost versus, you know, sending out PR to an influencer. I mean, if you're just sending the package without it being a sponsored video, you know, what's that going to cost you? I mean, in product and in, you know, in shipping, $50. $100, something like that. But if you were going to put an ad in a magazine, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And people are starting to take notice of smaller influencers too. You should see soon that smaller influencers are getting more PR. And the reason why is because it's cheaper. If you send, let's say I send someone with 3 million subscribers, I do a sponsored video, that's going to cost me probably thousands of dollars to do a sponsored video on a large channel. But the purchase rate on larger channels is actually smaller than it is on smaller channels, because the trust isn't there as much in the larger channels. They don't typically have as much engagement and trust. Typically, this is from an article that I read. I'll have to see if I can find it and link it below. But the turnover rate on purchases doesn't seem to be, according to this article that I read, as high on larger channels as it does on smaller channels. So let's say you have a group of channels that are between 50 and 100,000 subscribers, and you send out, you could either spend thousands of dollars just to send it to one person, or you can spend thousands of dollars to send it to 100 people. And these people are going to be so excited to get PR, to get that they're more likely to give a positive review without trying to brand please. And you didn't have to pay. They're going to make the video because they don't get PR. So they're more likely to make an actual video and put their love and heart and soul into this video. And their audience, because they're smaller, they're going to be more trusting and they're going to be more likely to purchase. So that's why you're going to start seeing, and I think we're already seeing a little bit of a shift with sending PR to smaller influencers versus the larger influencers. I mean, the larger influencers are still getting a ton of PR, but you're starting to see smaller influencers getting more, which I think is great. We just need to make sure that we're still keeping our integrity in that. Yeah, I will try, Devin, to find that article and put it down below. I can't remember if I retweeted it or not. If I retweeted it, it's going to be really easy to find, but I can't remember how I got. It's something about micro-influencers, the rise of micro-influencers. Emily says, the bigger the company, the less impact one person has. If someone complains about, say, CoverGirl, then they'll ignore you unless you have some giant influence that you don't matter. And I think that there's part of it, unless you are actually selling the product for them. If you have an audience of, 50,000 people and you've now sold 6,000 units, I mean, and they didn't have to pay you anything versus they had to pay thousands of dollars to sell, 10,000 units. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, where did Cheyenne go? Because I'd asked Cheyenne a question and I don't know whether we answered that. She says, I've been watching a certain YouTuber since she had Bible scriptures in her outro, but it's just not the same anymore. She is entertaining, but I don't trust 50% of what she says. Got it. Makeup Junkie says, I saw someone with less than 600 subscribers get Anastasia PR. Anastasia gives out PR to people, to really small channels sometimes. I am not on Anastasia's PR list, and that's okay with me. It's totally cool. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I do not mind buying products. The only thing that it hurts me not getting PR is because I am so thorough, it takes me a really long time to get videos out. So like my Dominique Cosmetics palette, I've worn it 4 times, I think, but I haven't started filming the video yet. So I'm filming the video this coming week, and hopefully it'll be out the following week after that. But it gives people a jump start, a head start. And especially if you're going to do a first impression review, like you can slap that stuff on your face and have it up the next day as a review if you get it in PR. It's not about getting the free product at that point. It's about getting the exposure. But I don't have any problem not being on a PR list because I feel like my audience doesn't mind waiting for a review because they know that I'm going to be giving them good, solid information. I feel like the majority of my audience is cool with that, which is fine with me. Katie says, anyone remember the big YouTuber who was whining because she didn't get free Anastasia PR? I don't know that example, but I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. Steph says, whining isn't cute. I agree. I think, but I feel like sometimes people are really harsh on influencers and blow things up. I think sometimes someone just has a complaint and then it's blown up into this huge thing that they're whining and crying and all this stuff. I think that one thing we need to do as an audience is not blow things out of proportion when it comes to what an influencer says. And I've had this happen to me where I'll say, you know what, I don't really like this. And the next thing I know, everybody's like, Jen is whining and complaining and all this stuff. And it's like, all I said was, I don't really like it. Like, let's bring it down a notch, okay? Let's bring it down a notch and actually talk about, you know, what is actually happening, you know, and not blowing things out of proportion. I'm not going to say names. Y'all can say names all you want, but I'm not going to say names because that's just bad form. It's bad form. Tara says, I don't think PR is a problem, but I get sick of seeing these huge unboxing and YouTubers seem so ungrateful. I think the ungratefulness really bothers me. There was a YouTuber that I watched a while back that had gotten a BoxyCharm, and oh my gosh, like BoxyCharm has been sending me BoxyCharm for a long, long time. I know the CEO, I can email him at any time, and you know, I've had concerns and I've emailed him and he's gotten back to me within, I'm not even kidding you, within 30 minutes, he's back to me. So, you know, when I saw this person unbox this BoxyCharm and opened it up and like, what is this? Oh, it's a subscription box, blah, 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 and throwing stuff and throw the box. I was like, that was not nice. You know, like that really bothered me so much. Like, at least take the time and show it and say thank you. Like when I did the perfusion a minute ago, like even though I know that I have so much perfusion right now that I need to try what they've already sent me, I know this stuff is going to go in for giveaway, I'm still very appreciative because I know that when I do give this away, somebody is going to be very, very thankful for it. And I am excited about the mixed metals peach palette thing because I've never tried their metallic formula. I showed this in the other video, but I've never tried the metallic formula. I'm actually pretty excited to try that. But yeah, that bothers me too when people are just very dismissive of the PR. It's like, oh, I got this, I'll throw it. It almost reminds me of like a 6-year-old at Christmas when they get socks, you know, and they're like, oh, it's socks. Oh, it's a t-shirt. You know, it's underwear. But instead it's like a La Mer cream. You know? It's like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, another person that I watched, they had gotten, this was before Viseart was really big, they'd gotten a Viseart palette, and they were like, what is this? And they just like threw it on their bed. I was like, that's an $80 eyeshadow palette, and you just threw it on your bed like it didn't even matter. Like, what are you doing? You know, it bothered me so much. Oh my gosh. Michelle said, Tati, oh, I'm talking about Tati. Okay. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Emily says, but the difference is a grown adult who knows better. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. If by the way, if I'm not seeing your comment and I'm not commenting back, it's not because I don't care. It's just because there's so much coming through. Katie says, I just watched my smaller YouTube channel with only 14,000 subs get her first PR package, and she reviewed it honestly in my view. Nice. What was the channel, Katie? It was great to see, and she was grateful instead of a huge PR haul unboxing. Yeah, absolutely. Mimi says, I want socks for Christmas. I don't want socks for Christmas, but if I get socks, I'll send them to you, Mimi. Yvonne says drama channels are just waiting for a comment so they can have something to talk about. Absolutely, absolutely. And there are. Like, I will tell you, I do watch a few drama channels. I watch T-Spill, I watch Here for the Tea, I watch Peter Mon, and I watch Rich Lux. Those are the ones that I watch. I don't watch any other ones because I feel like, yes, they're spilling tea, but I feel like they're, at least in my view so far, as of up to here, they at least try. Oh, and Beauty Truth Sleuth, that's the other one. At least they're trying to give valid information instead of just trying to stir things up. I think some drama channels, their whole purpose is just to make people upset. And they'll blow everything out of proportion just to make people upset. And I don't like that. And I do not watch those. Exposed. T-Spill has the best editing. I need like editing classes from T-Spill. They're really, really good as far as the editing. Yeah, and they cover all the angles. And one thing I appreciate from Here for the Tea is she doesn't seem to be biased for or against the influencers. You know, it's not like she's always anti-influencer like a lot of drama channels are. Sometimes she'll actually stand up for the influencer and say, you know what, even though blah, 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 I think that they're right in this situation. You know, I appreciate that a lot. Tara Babies, oh my gosh, I love Tara. Love her. I love Tara. I wish that she did more reviews and less hauls though. She does so many hauls. So many hauls. Tawny Michelle has a good drama channel. I don't know Tawny Michelle. Rich Lux is the only one worth watching. Here for the Tea is pretty vile to people on Twitter and you now. Really? Is she? I haven't seen that. I follow her on Twitter. But I haven't seen that. Good to know. But anyway, I feel like the most important thing in anything as far as YouTube, getting back to the topic, as far as, you know, YouTube, any kind of video on YouTube, is just being honest about what you're presenting, you know, and not spreading lies, not spreading rumors that aren't true. I feel like that's a lot what's happening right now with Tati's supplements, is that people are doing quick Google searches. And this is what I learned, and this will be in my video when I do the full video on Tati's vitamins, is that I learned early on when I started researching ingredients. This is really important. I learned that there's a website called EWG, Environmental Working Group, and I used to use that as a major source for my my videos for ingredient analysis. And then I learned that what EWG does is they will, like, let's say it's talc. They'll look at, this might not be the best example, but they'll look at studies that were straight talc in a high concentration put on your nether regions, and then they'll report on it. But the interaction between talc and your nether regions is quite different than talc on your eyes. There are some people that have an allergic reaction to talc on their eyes, but for the majority of people, talc, there isn't a lot of evidence that says talc is bad for your eyes in any way, except for if you specifically have an allergic reaction to it. But EWG will tell you that it's like the worst thing ever, because it's basing it on a study that has nothing to do with cosmetics. It's really important when we research any kind of ingredients that we dig a little bit deeper, other than there was a study once that said that this does this. You have to look at the dosage, you have to look at who it was given to, you have to look at how many people it was given to, what were the conditions under which it was it given to humans, was it given to animals? There's a lot of factors. So just, you know, seeing somewhere that this ingredient does this is not enough. You have to find out more about that particular study to find out, you know, oh, and also the interactions, especially in like the vitamin, the interactions between the things that are in the vitamin, because, you know, one thing plus this thing may cause something different. It's like, you know, you got a red and a yellow, they're one thing separate, but when you put them together, they make orange. It's the same thing from what I'm learning with vitamins. Sometimes separately they do something, but when you put them together, it does something a little bit different. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but that needs to be considered. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of people just throwing information up without considering any of that. And that's what drives me insane about it. Elise says, EWG is all risk assessment. You're 100% on the money with this. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's really, really important to take into consideration a lot of factors. So with like the vitamins, with any kind of ingredient research, you've got to make sure that you're using legitimate sources. Pop Sugar is not a legitimate source. You need to, if you're reading a Pop Sugar article about something, you know, looking to see where did they get their information? Did they get it from a study? And if they did get it from a study, what was that study about? People don't have time to research all that, so they'll read a Pop Sugar article and they'll just go with it. Okay. Also, if the company sells that particular product, you got to take it with a grain of salt. So if you have a vitamin company that's telling you that this particular vitamin ingredient does X, Y, and Z, well, they're probably trying to sell you vitamins. You know what I mean? So you can't really trust that from a vitamin company, because they've got an angle. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with cosmetics. So I think it's really, really important to dig deeper than that. So that's what I'm doing, is digging deeper. I think that's very important. So Sabi says, I totally agree. How do you feel about her statement about the video about Ceramide RX being the most expensive, and that is made by the company that James is a part owner from? We're going to dig all the way into that. I actually talked to Tati about that. So I do have information about that, but I know Tati's coming out with a video on Monday. So, so she's probably going to explain that in that video. But I don't want to, tell her story for her, but that is going to be part of my video when I release it in about a week-ish. But definitely talk to your doctor before ingesting any kind of vitamins. Absolutely. Manifested Muse says, I think I did not care for the gossip one, so I cut them out. I like connecting with people. It feels more real, like a disconnect. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about like the gossip channels? Yeah, I hear you. I know that it's 11:04, but I did come on late, so we're going to stay for the full hour. Emily says, Jen, how do I contact you with research for information? Twitter is a really good place, or you can send me an email at jenluvsreviews@gmail.com. Spelled the same way as my channel, JENLUVS reviews@gmail.com. Oh my gosh, is Sam here from Here for the Tea? That'd be really funny. I was just talking about Sam. Let's see, what else are people talking about? But anyway, so what else do I love and hate about YouTube videos? I think the inauthenticity and the lack of research drives me insane. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Like when Angelica did her video about, you know, what she'll unsubscribe from. I think when I realized that the channel is either being lazy with their content in that they're just slapping it on their face and recommending something, it's like that bugs me. So yes, Sam is here. Cool. Hi, Sam. But that I think is my big unsubscribe. And also, like Angelica said, I feel like when the content gets stale, when they're just doing the same thing over and over again, and I realize that that they're just not going to put out anything that I'm interested in, then I'll unsubscribe. I have a really hard time unsubscribing from channels with smaller followings. I always feel really bad, so sometimes I'll just stay subscribed even though I don't really watch the videos as much because I just feel bad. But larger people that I know have no idea that I'm subscribed to them, I'll just unsubscribe. Anybody that's like 100,000 or more. Monica says, Cassie from Thrift Thick. I love her, and we haven't talked about her yet. Yeah, I do love Cassie. I adore Cassie from Thrift Thick. She is another channel that I feel like is very thorough, very honest, and I definitely enjoy her channel. Claire says, I really love the trend of following another YouTuber's makeup tutorial. I think it left the discovery of other great channels. Would you consider doing one of these videos? I actually did. I did, well, sort of. I did Rich Lux. Because I wanted to do something fun, and that has been one of my favorite videos I've ever filmed, was my doing Rich Lux's YouTube, his look. I had so much fun, and you get to see my family. I brought around and showed my family my face. But Lauren May Beauty, yes, absolutely. If you have a small channel and you have no idea what you want to film and you don't have a lot of money to make a bunch of, you know, review videos, Lauren May Beauty comes up with the most creative videos that cost absolutely no money to make. And they're good. They're really good. Sabi says, I loved Here for the Tea. She pointed out the biggest issue with these false people who make opportunities harder for others. Yeah, she put out a really good video. It's very interesting. Was it yesterday? I had to watch it in like 5 pieces because I had my kids yesterday and I was editing, but it was a video about an Instagrammer that I had never heard of before, but she broke down why she believes this Instagrammer has been buying followers and kind of shows the evidence behind it. And I thought that was very interesting. I get emails all the time about buying followers, all the time. And I actually thought about doing a video with like one of my other channels that I don't use. Like I have an ASMR channel that it's cringy. Just so you know, it's a little bit, like I can't even watch it because it's a little, I don't know, it's a little creepy. But anyway, so like doing it on that channel that I don't upload to anymore and like buying followers on it just to see how many followers I get and like how it works. But Sam did the work for me on that one. I won't do that now. Because it's just, I get so many emails and I'm so curious about what it actually does when you buy followers, like how it actually works. But she already did the work for me, so I don't have to wonder anymore. Shauna says, I know the bigger ones just can't interact and I just don't like that. I watch tutorials because I'm learning and I have questions. So how can you learn without being able to ask questions, you know? Yeah, and I feel like I have TubeBuddy, which is a plugin, and one thing I really like about TubeBuddy is it allows me to filter my comments by questions. So anybody that uses a question mark, it'll actually filter it so that I see it to make sure that I get to answer the questions. I don't always use it all the time, but I need to use it more. It is really hard for larger influencers to answer questions, but it is possible to at least answer a few. You know, I feel like every influencer should spend at least 15-20 minutes after an upload just responding to people. I actually stopped hearting as many comments because I was getting people that were getting upset that this was back when I was reading the gossip forums and stuff. I don't read them anymore. But someone had actually, I can't lie to you, I did peek the other day. But I try really hard not to look at them, okay? I try really hard. But I can't lie to you. I peeked. I looked at Reddit a couple days ago. And I feel guilty about it. Forgive me, YouTube, for I have broken my own rule. But anyway, point is that, what was my point? They were upset because they said that I had hearted a comment before theirs and after theirs, or they were in live chat and I hadn't acknowledged them, even though I acknowledged a comment before and after them, and they thought that I was purposely not acknowledging them, which is so not true. So I stopped hearting as many comments, like the love feature, because I don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt if I don't hit that love on them. So what I'm doing is I'm loving the comments that add to the video instead, like things that add information, like maybe they said they added on information that I didn't know, or they clarified something like that. So I'm hearting those instead, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not giving a heart. I know, isn't that weird? But I don't like hurting people's feelings. It upsets me that someone's upset because I didn't, do something like that. But I do think that YouTubers on the whole need to interact more with their audience. Absolutely, 100%. Especially larger channels. And I think they don't do it because they don't need to. They're going to get views no matter what. I mean, if you look at some of these social blades, if you don't know Social Blade, socialblade.com, you can look up any influencer and see, how much money approximately they make and what their view count is and all of that. I mean, some of these people are making, $50,000, $75,000 a month just in Google AdSense, according to their Social Blades. So a month, can you imagine getting $50,000 a month? $75,000 a month? That's a lot of money. And they're not interacting with their audience. So why should they? It's not the audience obviously doesn't care, at least on the viewing standpoint. They're still going to get views no matter what. Firefly says, in case you missed it, did you see Steph Nicole is working on a skincare brand? I actually knew that. I knew that from when I went to visit her, but I didn't know she had announced it. So hopefully I didn't blow up her spot. Well, I mean, you guys wouldn't have known about it if she didn't announce it. But yeah, she had mentioned that to me when I went to go visit her. But I didn't say anything because it's not my secret to tell. But that's exciting that she announced it, though. It's really exciting. I'm very happy for her. Very, very happy for her because, it's going to be legit if Steph is doing it because it's going to be legit. I'm really excited about it. Michelle says, you will never be able to please everyone. Just be yourself. Oh, absolutely. I know. But I just want to make sure that, I'm not doing things that make people upset consciously, Yvonne says, is the number of followers not secondary? I thought view count get paid. Yes, view counts do get paid. That's what gets paid, is the view count, not the number of followers. That's true. Did I say that it was the number of followers? If I did, then I misspoke. I didn't mean that. Manifested Muse is dropping a bunch of hearts. Thank you. Angela says, now I would buy a Stephanie Nicole product. She knows her stuff. Yes, she does. But count on that stuff. I have not spoken to her about this. I do not know the price point, but it's probably going to be expensive. If I know Stephanie likes her expensive skincare. I'm sure she will do her best to keep the price down, but the stuff she loves is very expensive. Hi, Latina. Kathleen, as a medical... She says, Kathleen, as a medical professional, not all unneeded vitamins have a chance to be excreted by the body. A person can overdose on water. It depends on your body and what state you're in. Yes, and that's one thing we're going to talk about when I do the vitamin video is water-soluble vitamins versus fat-soluble vitamins. Which ones are in the formula? Which ones are water-soluble? Which ones are fat-soluble? Like, for example, vitamin C is water-soluble. So if you get an excess of vitamin C in your system, you see those vitamin C pills? If you have an excess of vitamin C in your system, it just gets flushed out. Like, it's just, your body takes what it needs and the rest just goes out as long as you are a typically healthy person, if you don't have any medical conditions. Let's see. Martha says, do view counts count if you don't watch the whole thing? Yes, they do. Or if you go back to the video and see a reply to your comment, I've always wondered, yes, that counts as an additional view. every time you click on the video, it does count as a view. Now, what helps in the YouTube algorithm as far as view count is if you do watch more, then their watch time goes up, which makes them look like they have a better channel, which YouTube really likes. So it'll be more suggested if they have a longer watch amount of time. It's not the percentage of the watch time of the video. Like, for example, the makeup minute. If you watch the whole minute, that doesn't look any better than if you watched a minute of a live chat. It's the total number of minutes watched on the channel, not the percentage of the video watched, if that makes sense. Julie says, Jen, you do a great job making us feel part of the channel. I'm so glad. I hope so, because I do feel like this is about us. It's not just about me. It's about us. And I feel like a lot of YouTube channels, it's all about that person here. It has nothing to do with the audience. It's not, but I feel like that's the only way I can have a channel, is because I don't feel like, you know, I'm not a trained makeup artist. I'm not an esthetician. I just am a makeup enthusiast who really cares about doing things in a thorough way. That's just who I am. I love researching. I love all of that. So I bring a lot to the table, but I don't bring the complete picture. And that's where the audience, that's where the collective brain comes in, is that we all work together to put the whole picture together. I've got a puzzle piece. She's got a puzzle piece. He's got a puzzle piece. They've got a puzzle piece over there. And it's all, you know, we all work together to get that complete picture. And I think that's really important to what I want my channel to be. I don't expect every channel to be like mine. This is just a personal preference, but, you know, I think that's important to my, to what I'm trying to do here. Jordy wants to know, I have always wondered if it make a difference if you watch the whole ad versus clicking a skip ad. It does make a difference. YouTuber makes more money if you watch the whole ad, and if you click on the ad, the YouTuber makes more money. But they still make money if you skip. It's just not as much. Allison says, it's such a great point. You do a great job of building a community feel. Thank you. I don't just feel like someone's sitting in the audience. I hope I can do that with my channel. Awesome. Her name is Allison Jacobs, Allison Jacobs, Jacobs, in case you want to check out her channel. So yeah, let's see. What else? What else drives us crazy? Or what do we want to talk about as far as YouTube channels? Because we've got, my son's asking me for approval for downloading an app. Not right now, sir. Not right now. Jenny says, what size is that freaking flawless shirt? This is Taylor's merchandise from that Taylor. I wear this in live chat all the time because I think it's just so cute. I think it's a small. Yeah, it's a small. And it does kind of go off the shoulder if I want it to. I really like this shirt. It's very comfortable. Firefly says, I feel like Jen would be great in a beauty news segment in a news show. You have like a broadcaster voice. Oh, thank you. I feel like this channel is more about beauty consumerism than makeup itself. This channel here is more about beauty consumerism. Well, I mean, kind of in a way. I mean, it's a review channel. So I think my job, I feel like, as a review channel is to purchase things or get things and analyze it so you can decide and make an educated decision about what you want to purchase. So in a way, I think, you know, makeup itself, I mean, I think that's part of makeup itself. You know, like, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is about consumerism in that, you know, I'm trying to educate you so that you can make a decision on whether a product is right for you or not. But I don't think that I push consumerism on my channel. I mean, I guess you can say like What's Up and Makeup, the product report is kind of pushing consumerism in a way. But it's just giving information. I'm not like saying, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. Like, I feel like a lot of channels will, you know, they'll get things in PR and they'll try it for 30 seconds and then they'll say, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. I feel like that's pushing consumerism, where I'm just trying to give you information so you can decide whether you want to purchase it or not. At least that's my perspective. I don't feel like I push consumerism more than, you know, maybe it encourages it in some people. And for that, I apologize. But I'm just trying to give you information. I don't know about makeup itself. I mean, I guess a channel about makeup itself would be more of like a tutorial channel, which I'm not, because I can't be. I can't be a tutorial channel because I don't do makeup that well. I do okay, but I don't do well enough to do a tutorial channel. I'm not there. I'll keep trying, but I'm not there. Lulu says, what about the YouTubers who are always neutral? Like, do you like it or not? Just tell me. You don't have to bash them, but give me an opinion. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I definitely do that on my channel sometimes too, though, where I'm like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. And you have to decide for yourself. But I also always try to give my personal opinion. I don't always, but I try to give my personal opinion on it as well. But I mean, just to like, I think that's kind of like a haul. Is what I like. I don't like hauls. I don't watch hauls because it's like, oh, I got this and I don't even know what it is, but here it is and that's what it looks like, and you know, that's it. I mean, there are a lot of people that do like hauls, and I think that's why the product report and What's Up in Makeup people seem to really like that, is because it's kind of like a haul but without the haul stuff, and it's a lot of stuff, so you can kind of keep up on what's coming out. But I try to give an opinion. I do try. But staying neutral, I don't know. How do you even stay neutral in a review? That's not the point. You know, it's not the point of the review. All right, it has been 1 hour. Let's just answer a couple more questions. What about the ones who review a drugstore product and say it's really good for drugstore? What does that mean? Is it good or not? I'm guilty of saying that occasionally. I think that it means that it's not as good as some of the higher end products that they own, but if you're in a pinch and you don't want to spend the money on the higher end stuff, it works, but not great. That's the way I interpret that. Diane says Tara Babies does the best hauls. I know. I want her to do more reviews though, because her reviews are so good, but she does do a lot of hauls. That woman has to have a lot of makeup. I love her. Yvonne says, every video which is reasonably good gets a thumbs up from me because I want to reward people for taking the time to do a video. I can tell you, I have thumbs down less than 5 videos in my entire life, probably. At least less than 10. And it was because they were downright offensive. I don't thumbs down videos. Some people thumbs down videos like candy. They're like, you get a thumbs down and you get a thumbs down and you get a thumbs down. I don't know. I don't do that. I mean, it's still engagement. It doesn't really matter, but... But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta pop off here because it's my family day. But thank you so much for being here. I'm hoping I can get my my nicer camera to work. I'm really upset that it was lagging so bad. It might just be a YouTube thing, but we'll try it again at some point. Maybe we'll do like a smaller live stream, or maybe I can just kind of test it in the meantime. I think that I can test it on private and kind of play with it this week before chat next week, and hopefully I can get it working because the camera quality is so much better on that camera than this one. But thank you again for being here. And if you have any additional things you want to add to the conversation, definitely leave those in the comments below. I just realized that I should have used my dry shampoo this morning. By the way, thank you to everybody on my favorites video for telling me that they're with me on not washing their hair but once or twice a week. Because I thought I was the only one until everybody's like, yeah, I do it too. It was the same thing with like the crystals thing. Like I thought I was like weird, but apparently I'm not. Apparently there's a lot of people that are into crystals too. So, you know, it's kind of cool, you know, to be able to put something out there and think you're the only one that's something, and then finding out that there's lots of people that are just like you. It's pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing platform we have here, and I'm very appreciative of having YouTube. I think YouTube is a fantastic platform, and I love being on YouTube. I love making YouTube videos, and I love that you love what I'm doing here. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And mad love to you. I've got a couple of really good videos. Actually, I've got 3 videos I filmed for this coming week. I have a toy unboxing that I did with my son that's going to be a bonus video. I've got a makeup storage video coming up. And then I have, what's the third one? BoxyCharm coming up this week because they sent me my BoxyCharm late. So that's what's coming up this week. And then next week we've got Tati vitamins, hopefully, coming up the next week. And then Kristen Dominique's eyeshadow palette, hopefully coming out next week. That's the plan anyway. All right, mad love. I will see you in a video soon. Bye.